The second season of the Cuphead show has returned to our screens after only a few months. The ending of Cuphead is also one of its most eagerly awaited moments. The ending is not as straightforward as one might think it would be, with just an all good things come to an end message at the end of it all. Major spoilers ahead if you have not watched the Cuphead show yet. The Cuphead show season 1 ended on a massive cliffhanger for Cuphead and Mugman. Weeks before the Cuphead show premiered, the Netflix original animated series received a strong vote of confidence from the premium streaming service, with a concurrent 2-season renewal order setting the total episode count to 48. With that much creative real estate, the Cuphead show has quite a bit of room to tell an ambitious overarching story following the mischievous brothers Cuphead and Mugman. And season 1 ended on an ominous cliffhanger for Cuphead and Mugman, putting them in dire straits as audiences wait for the animated series' eventual return. The Cuphead show season 1 finale has Cuphead and Mugman decide to go on an adventure in the big city, where they encounter an effusive character named Chalice. Intensely charismatic, Chalice is able to waltz through life, receiving preferential treatment and able to get away with virtually anything purely by the sheer amount of charm she brings to any situation. Immediately enamored by her, Cuphead and Mugman desperately seek to gain Chalice's approval to become her friend and convince her to join in on her planned break-in of a cookie factory. True to form, Chalice gets away scot-free for the break-in, but Cuphead and Mugman are arrested and imprisoned, leaving their fate unknown. Season 2 of the show picked up directly after the events of what occurred at the end of season 1. The first episode began with Cuphead and Mugman being imprisoned for looting the cookie factory. When they were arrested at the cookie factory at the end of season 1, it appeared that they had been in prison for about 30 days or so based on the chalk on the wall. We also had the reference that Miss Chalice was the one who got them into the mess, and we saw them spending their time in prison. An entertaining episode that was on them having several ways to get away. When this began, we additionally observed the character distinctions coming to the fore and prepare the environment so that we had Mugman, who was more sane. One in lowering his head and simply attempting to pass the time, as Cuphead was attempting to flee and failing miserably, even when digging behind a poster technique. We met a lot of intriguing people in the prison, but my favorite was perhaps Miss Cyclops, who saved the brothers' lives and expelled them after their attempted escape went awry. It was a fantastic start to season 2, picking up where the first season left off in a good way, while also giving the second season a lot to build on with episode 2, titled Charmed and Dangerous. It was the ideal moniker for what took place. In this episode, we saw the brothers' animosity towards Miss Chalice for sending them to prison, which caused her to show up at the cottage with a mob after she had charmed an innocent bystander. They were all able to come out of the trance thanks to the Chalice's capacity to dance and effectively convince the receiver to do anything she desires. They demanded payment for every item she had taken. When the mob eventually showed up to the cottage and decided to exact their wrath on Mugman and Cuphead, we observed the three of them go and enjoy the day apart. While they were attempting to reason with them, however, we witnessed Ghost Chalice assume one of the many forms she is capable of adopting, which she later used to frighten the mob into fleeing. We also got to see Sergeant Gumbo Gumball as a member of the mob. In episode 13 titled The Devil's Pitchfork, we saw the devil pout because he didn't have the right to now take Cuphead's soul, and it was obvious that it was starting to bother him, which was the cherry on top. They should now seek out a stronger replacement to stand in for the devil. Due to this, he decided to spend the day in the world rather than the fiery depths of hell, where his primary goal was to make others miserable, which he was successful in achieving. When he came back, he was pleased with himself and forgot his pitchfork, which was found by none other than Cuphead and Mugman, who used it to their advantage for the rest of the day. We witnessed the devil returning to the group after discovering Cuphead had set the surroundings on fire. Cuphead kept stunning the devil when he tried to take it back, making it impossible for him to do so. He also revealed that he was no longer permitted to steal Cuphead's soul, which lessened his sense of anxiety. However, after persistently attempting to obtain the pitchfork, he finally said that he would take something that Cuphead cared about away. As the episode came to a close and the screen went black, we then saw Mugman tied up and being taken to hell in the elevator. The season's conclusion paralleled season 1's conclusion and made a connection back to the main plot. Cuphead, though, was now by himself. Elder Kettle will probably have to answer to him, and we'll see him descend into hell with the goal of brokering a deal to return Mugman to the world where he belongs. It was a fantastic season. Do I believe it to be on par with the first season? It obviously missed something, but I believe it was mainly a result of how excellent the first season was. This one had a feeling of having a lot of side stories that weren't all that connected to the larger narrative, but it still worked and was really entertaining.